Joining us now is Ambassador Alon Pinkas, former advisor to Israeli Prime Ministers Ehud Barak and Shimon Peres. He also served as Israeli Consul General in New York. Ambassador, thanks for being with us. With the remaining Israeli hostages finally free, the living hostages, as Israelis are celebrating this, how significant is this moment for your country? Describe why returning the hostages became such a national mission.
Well, it's a very significant moment. You know, it's the apex of 2 years worth of frustration, exhaustion, but also now jubilation and elation. There was a lot of anger throughout those 2 years for what seemed, at least in the last year, as Mr. Netanyahu protracting the war unnecessarily for his own political reasons. Let's be honest about this, without pooping the party. This deal could have been done a year ago, and this deal could have been done 6 months ago. The fact that it's been done now is only because President Trump did something that his 3-4 immediate predecessors refrained from doing, and that is pressure Israel. And Israelis are cognizant of that and appreciate that. All that said, Ariel, I don't know. I can't tell you. We all speculate, but no one really knows whether this anger, this frustration is going to be channeled into or vented against Netanyahu right now, because people also understand that he did not want this agreement. And so once, as you correctly pointed out, once the hostages are home, and the reason an entire nation was behind them is that, well, two reasons, actually. It's part of Jewish tradition to care for the other as if you care for yourself, and to care for the other because he is the community. But it's also an Israeli value. Since the establishment of Israel, no one left behind, no soldier left behind, camaraderie at every cost, to the point that it sometimes doesn't make sense that you're endangering soldiers to save one soldier. And the statistics could work against you, but you work based on values. So an entire society coalesced around this principle, while one prime minister seemed to have departed from that principle. And that was the source of the demonstrations and the anger that you saw in the last at least year and a half around the issue of the hostages.
It's important context about the social contract in Israeli society. In his remarks this morning, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu highlighted his determination to achieve, quote, peace through strength. Let's listen.
We have paid a high price for this war, but our enemies now understand just how powerful and just how determined Israel is. They understand that attacking Israel on October 7th was a catastrophic mistake. They understand that Israel is strong and that Israel is here to stay. And this, Mr. President, is the indispensable foundation of peace. Peace through strength.
Netanyahu also said that Israel's hand is stretched to anyone who wants peace. But given the political pressure that Prime Minister Netanyahu is facing from his far-right flank, is regional peace achievable?
No, not without the Palestinians and not with this government. And this speech by Mr. Netanyahu, Ariel, was just a on-brand collection of his platitudes. Peace through strength. What the hell does that even mean? When did he ever extend his hand to anyone in an offer of peace? Now, I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying the neighborhood is a decent place filled with good actors with goodwill. Not at all. But for him to say this is just, smoke and mirrors. This is a guy who refused to take responsibility for the calamity of October 7th, 2023, refuses to be held accountable. In fact, if it wasn't for his hubris in attacking Qatar on September 9th, we wouldn't be having this conversation, Ariel, and we wouldn't have this agreement. The day before he went to the White House to see President Trump, he said on Fox News that the war will go on until the final victory against Hamas. He also said that he won't apologize to Qatar. 24 hours later, he does the exact opposite on both. So my point here is that, you could talk about regional peace all you want, but the core issue right now, and this is something, by the way, that Netanyahu unsuccessfully for years tried to divert attention from. The core issue remains the Palestinians, not because they're nice, not because we love them. They are neither. That's not the point. There is a strip of land between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. It has 15 million people, half are Palestinians, half are Israeli Jews. Either they separate or they live in one state. I don't even want to begin to go with you into the details of what a one state would look like. And so if he thinks he can cut a deal with Saudi Arabia, with Qatar, with the Emirates, look, he wasn't invited to Sharm el-Sheikh. You mentioned before in your conversation in the panel, Ariel, that he didn't go because of Simchat Torah. No, he didn't go because A, it's not clear that he was actually invited, and B, apparently, the president of Turkey, Erdogan, said that if he shows up, he won't show up, and that threatened Sisi, the president of Egypt, that the entire thing can falter. And so you look at the flags and you see an entire world, converging on one idea, but you're missing the Israeli flag. So whatever regional aspirations he might have in his speeches, it doesn't show in policy.
Well, Prime Minister Shimon Peres, who you served, said to the very last minute that he remained an optimist. Let's all try to remain somewhat optimistic that Israel will play some kind of a constructive role going forward. Ambassador Alon Pincus, we've got to go. I'm so sorry.
He called me a pessimist.
Okay.
Peres called me a pessimist. So there you go.
A fair amount of both is probably warranted in this moment. Thank you so much for your time, Ambassador. We appreciate it.
Here we go.